Hello and welcome everybody. We have some D&D 40K planning to do today, so it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of talking. Josh is drunk, so that'll be fun.
Hey,
Half drunk.
working on full.
Working on full. So, hey, I'm glad you got a new phone, bud. So I got.
Oh yeah, we can stream snipe.
Yeah, you can stream snipe today, no problem. So, actually, hey Walker, can you send that in Discord instead?
Yeah.
And I'll pull it up so everybody can see your beta fish.
No. Okay.
All right, is that not
fish's
okay?
name?
I that's why I kind of asked bebeforehand. You don't want him to, it's fine.
I am happy to let them see him when he is not sick,
Okay,
He's
okay.
not feeling well.
All right,
so that they don't think I'm a very bad person.
Says the
You're a
person
very-
who destroyed the entire universe in the last
You're-
part of the campaign.
Look,
He's a
people
very
I don't care
good
about.
person.
Fish,
Yeet!
fish is something else.
All right.
But you see the little part of the thing I was talking about, Becks?
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
Alright.
But all right, so who is going to be my typey recorder? I've already made a new thing in the D&D 40K doc sheet. If somebody wants to pull that up and type for me, it says combat rules. That's where we're gonna start, and then when Nick gets here, and hopefully Tom, but he's being a little I want to hide in the hole today, so he will have to just be overruled.
Oh, Walker, he is such a pretty fish.
Right. It's just have to get that little whatever it is off of him.
He doesn't have black spot, does he?
I don't think he has black spot.
Okay.
I don't know what black spot is though, so
It's a parasite. It's really common in betas.
they didn't mention anything like that. I go to aquarium over there by the Becks.
Uh-huh.
And they just thought it was a fungal infection, so
Okay, I remember we had one that came from a pet store, and he ended up with he had black spot, and it's just really common, and it's just a parasite that they can treat.
yeah, they were saying I don't really have to worry about parasites too much because apparently they quarantine all their fish for at least about a week or so before they actually sell them. So apparently,
Awesome,
I don't
Hunter.
know what's going on, so I'm just kind of going with what I got.
Awesome, Hunter. We'll have to check you out. Hunter says I stream Fortnite at Fortnite Gamer 90191910.
That's a lot of numbers.
That is a lot of numbers, but there is a pattern to it, so I'm okay with this. We'll have to check you out, and if anybody wants to, they can go ahead and go check you out over there, buddy. But all right. And nobody else is in the Google Doc with me?
I can't
I was
get
looking
to
at
No, no,
fish
I know you-
videos.
Always in the dock with you, Isaac.
Huh?
I am always in the dock with you,
You're always in the doc with me.
of course.
Bex, I think you got competition.
Hey yo.
I'm not worried.
Anonymous
I'm not sure
amiibo.
if that's a shot at
Or
me or
anonymous
just your
armadillo.
own confidence.
It's full confidence in my man.
Not only that, she can run me down right now.
Yeah, he's a little gimpy.
Right now?
Yes.
Just right now, Isaac?
Yeah, just right now. Normally I can get away.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He sounds very determined most nights.
He just doesn't want to get away.
Yeah, between the stitches and the pulled back muscle, I'm all gimped up.
Yeah, he
And
lost.
the other stitches you're not supposed to talk about.
But yeah. Next time I'll just go over to the toolbox and get the diagonal cutters.
Instead of stabbing your hand with a knife.
Yes.
Okay. This sounds like a better idea.
I mean, I say that, but it just really depends on how much I care at that particular moment.
But just think that, so I have such a cool scar there now.
Yeah, but he has to say, yeah, you know what? I lost a fight with a zip tie.
I didn't lose the fight. I won. That's how I got the scar.
I think it was more of a tie.
I think the zip tie got its revenge.
Yeah, I agree. The zip tie did in fact get its revenge.
Everybody else had a cooler story in the ER. This guy's like, yeah, I was kickboxing and I broke my hand in like round 2 and I kept going for 2 more rounds. And the other guy's like, I got mauled by a husky. And Isaac's like, I had a zip tie.
Oh, did you hear about that one chick that apparently went to the ER because she had a shot blast stuffed up her urethra?
Her urethra?
How?
Yep.
Her
Ah.
I
urethra?
don't know. Apparently,
Okay,
it
one
had
of
been
these
there for
stories is not like the others.
Yes.
apparently it had been like there for years, and a giant kidney stone had formed around it.
What the actual frack?
Yeah, Hunter, yes, tomorrow is Sunday. It is also Mother's Day. You better get your mom something, bud. Or at least to make your dad put your name on something that he's given her.
Moms like handmade things. So even if it's like a little handmade card, that's very meaningful.
So
I went out.
the person
No
in
matter
Twitch,
what your age is.
the person in Twitch chat is Aaron's son.
Oh, okay, cool. Is this the one I've met? No, it's not.
Yeah, you've met
It
him.
is?
Yeah,
I met Hunter? Okay.
I think so. No.
No,
I'm
I didn't
sorry.
meet
No.
Aiden's kid.
Hunter is Aiden's friend from school. I had
Oh, yeah.
the person wrong. My bad.
I was about to say,
Yeah. Sorry,
was
I had the
Killian.
wrong person on in my head.
Killian's your nephew.
Killian's my nephew. Yeah. Again, I've had a bit of a tough week, but I remember now, Hunter.
We're gonna blame the stitches.
We're gonna blame the stitches, the medications, and all that fun stuff. But all right,
The
so
air factor.
all right, Becks, are you in here typing?
No, like not even close.
You know, I still have my good right hand. I can bank things off walls, and I have a lot of dice in here.
Quit throwing crap down the hall. All right, new rules. Oh,
Yes.
this is a mess. I'm gonna fix this.
What? It's actually set up. It should be set up correctly.
Tahoma.
What?
Make that bold.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that. I didn't mess with any of that.
This sort of
I
thing.
just stretched out the things to make them correct. All right. So these are just going to be combat rules changes. So if you guys have any input or anything like that, let me know. So for attack, you will each be given you'll have a d6 to roll. So instead of rolling a d20, you'll roll a d6 to hit. Each character is going to have a different number to go off of. So it'll be usually from 2 to 6.
Okay,
1 is an automatic miss, no matter what.
gotcha.
So if you've ever played regular Warhammer, it's going to work a lot like the regular Warhammer game. So I thought this would be this. I think will increase the amount or the efficiency of our attacks.
Fair.
So we roll to hit. Do we roll to wound as well, or no?
Yes, we will roll to wound as well. But I'll get that. So to roll to hit. So if you get a 2 through a 6, or it'll be whatever number is associated with your character. It'll be 2 to something. Or
So like
something.
the armor class, like if the armor class is 3, you have to hit a 3 or above to actually hit them, right?
No. So it's going to be this. The first roll is based on you. So if you have a weapon skill of 3, you have to get a 3 or higher.
Gotcha.
And there'll be modifiers and things like that we can apply to it via things of that nature.
Gotcha.
You want to type that in there, Becks?
How do bonuses work?
So, don't think of it like how it was before when you're rolling a d20. You're not going to get all these crazy bonuses in that regard. You will get things that will allow you to re-roll hit rolls, things like that.
Okay.
So
So it's purely the 1 through 6 with some rare other circumstances.
Well, those will be the things that I give you action points for and things like that, so you can apply them to it.
Got it.
So you're still going to have many skills like you did before that you're going to have to earn, but they're going to work on +1s or because you're only working on D6. So +1 to hit is massive, right? Re-rolling to hit, not as good. Rolling 2 dice to hit, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to depend. And you'll probably roll more than 1 dice to hit. So let's say we're playing orcs, and you're in half your max range. Then you'll shoot 5 rounds. So you'll roll 5 D6s. Whichever one of those is like a 4 or higher will actually hit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be far simpler than the other.
So the wound, that depends on the defending character's skill, armor class.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but first have you typed anything yet or no?
Are you not seeing this?
No, I am not, unfortunately. Hold on, let me hit refresh. Hold on, sorry. Oh, you're in the wrong thing. You're not in combat
new
rules.
rules.
Okay, I'll rename it.
It says new rules. That's what I was in.
He made something named combat rules.
Combat
Oh.
rule. I'll just change it
Where is
over. It's
that?
fine. That way you don't have to type it.
You're both correct.
We are. And I was like, why don't I see it?
Isaac is just more wrong in this case.
I agree. I agree that I was more wrong in this. All right. Yeah. Okay. So armor repair. Yeah. So that new all that stuff can go away. All right. So roll a d6 to hit. Hit depends on attacking character's weapon skill. Exactly. Roll d6 to wound. It depends on the character, the defending character's armor class. Perfect. So now there will be modifiers for. All right, so that's attack. That's basically all you do for attack is you roll those dice. So every dice that you get on a hit, then you roll. You then roll for a wound.
And okay.
So I'm just so you can
Do
put
we
that.
need to roll for number of wounds and all that jazz too?
No, it'll be hard locked to, unless your weapon that you're using states that.
Okay.
Yeah. So now for so instead of attack rule, put in defensive rule. So armor save. So defense rule. So this is what I would roll against your attacks and what you will roll against my attacks. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So the first one's going to be you're going to roll a d6 for your armor class save. Yeah, so armor class save. So let's say it'll literally have a stat. So let's say you're a space marine on a 3-up, you're gonna save on a 3-up. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
So let's say you guys are playing as space marines, you would all have the same stat, but and it's your save would be on a 3+. So 3, 4, 5, or 6, you save from getting hit if they have no armor penetration on their weapon. Armor penetration increases your difficulty of that working. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So on the next one, put AP under roll D. Oh yeah, I guess it'll work under attack. Yeah, you're right, Becks. AP changes armor save. Probably be the best way to put that, Becks.
Put it under attack roll.
It's not the ability to hit; it's ability to wound. If that makes better sense. Yeah, there you go. That works. But yeah, so that's basically the combat system. Everything else kind of comes from your individual weapons, things like that. So let's say we go to the melt-a-gun that Tom used so ineffectively throughout the whole entire last campaign.
And miss fucking repeatedly.
So let's say he makes a hit. The AP on that is +3. So in the case of a Space Marine, there's no armor save. So you would just take the wound. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. But since you guys are supposed to be like these super duper humans in the super duper human world, fire equals fun. Exactly, Wolf. You guys' stats are going to be, for combat, are going to be kind of proprietary to just this setup. So let's say you wanted to play as a Space Marine. All right. So you're going to have, say, 3 wounds. Does that make sense? Yes, Orkies, I agree, Wolf. You're going to have 3 wounds, but you have a high armor class. Because 3+ is actually a really good armor class against most weapons. So you're only gonna have 3 wounds. Versus, let's say you're playing as a Tyrannid, or I hope you guys don't pick Tyrannids, but you're playing as Tyranids. They would have a higher wound count, but less armor save. So it kind of balances out in a way that way. I do too, Hunter. But yeah, so and then your hitting and all that stuff will all be augmented by both the weapon and boons you get to do, rerolling, all sorts of fun things like that. But and then warp abilities. So warp abilities are going to work off of a 2d6 system. If we want to go to that, Becks.
Alrighty.
So each wound or each warp ability is going to have a number that you have to reach. Okay?
Okay.
And so let's say it's you have to get a warp charge of 7. Right?
And is that depending on your abilities or
Yes,
on the defensive?
That's
okay.
on your abilities. So you will then cast the spell. And that's basically it. They'll suffer whatever wounds. It's actually going to be like, so let's say you use Smite, it would inflict 1 mortal wound. It's not something they can armor save against or anything like that. They just take it and die. If they have 1 wound. Like if you're fighting a Chaos Cultist or something like that, they're going to be toast. Whereas if you're fighting against somebody who has warp abilities, so let's say somebody uses a warp ability on you, and you want to cast like a cancellation spell, which is a warp ability on your end. Basically, nope spell. You're going to roll against their 2d6, and then you'll find out whether or not you basically turn off their mage powers. So it's kind of a combat within a combat. So they roll 2d6, you go nope, then you roll 2 more d6. As long as your number is higher than theirs, you will stop it.
Okay, so the defensive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how do you
Now,
want to word?
are you still doing the double 1 or double 12 thing?
Yes.
Or double 6?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a second. Let her finish up the defensive part first.
All right, so
Yeah,
how do you want to word that?
So defensive is roll 2d6. The person with the higher number wins. Idea: Fire Mage. Oh yeah. Well, warp fire is very unpleasant. Yep, that's perfect, Bex. Now, Walker made a point there. So if you roll, Teamer, how you doing, buddy? If you roll double 1s or double 6s, you
On the attack.
you get to suffer the perils of the warp. You can just put that in there as perils of warp. Yeah, rolling double sixes causes party to suffer perils of the warp, or double ones, either way.
Double sixes is better.
Yeah, because then at least your thing goes off. However, unlike in D&D, unlike in Warhammer where you take damage, oh no, we get to roll a D100 and find out what fun happens. Because it's gonna be just all sorts of fun things, and I'll come up with a, what do you call it, a basic list of like percentages of what happens. So basically, if you roll a 99, a warp rift opens, and you get to have fun.
As long as the double sixes at least gets to double the damage of the ability.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when you do it, you do extra. You do double the damage. It would be like a critical hit.
Yeah.
You gotta do doubles
On double sixes, it does that.
for warp abilities,
Yep, for the warp abilities.
but we just said that causes.
Oh no, both things occur.
It's just with double sixes, at least you still get to do a lot of damage.
Yep.
You're still screwed up either way.
Yep.
You just super win and then
Super
Send
runaway.
A bug.
Then super runaway. Oh, Shalafi, did you get a chance to play that game?
I did get a chance to play that game. I'm also on the phone with Tom. He didn't know it was tonight.
Okay,
He is on his way home from flight training because he wants to fly around in a small plane.
that's fine.
Cool.
We'll be here when he's ready.
Calm down, Tom. Calm down. Beck said it was cool.
I did say it was cool.
What's
and
that?
then Isaac said you're still a bitch, but that's still cool.
Hunter, what
I might have added a word or
what
two.
power is that, buddy? Oh, God power, but hard to get. Oh, I thought I was looking at that, and my dyslexia made it idea good for good power. Like I totally rearranged that whole sentence there, bud. So yeah, God power. Like for like a moment, you become kind of like a god, but like let's say you roll double zeros on the double sixes, and you become godlike for a little while. I like that. That's actually not a bad idea. So did the factions get chosen yet? No, we have not chosen factions yet, Teamer. All right, so yep, okay, got the double damage on that. Put perils cause D100 roll somewhere. Like put it underneath it is fine.
Okay, hold on. I'm making it pretty.
What's going to happen is Nick's going to use a warp ability right out the gate. I'm just going to roll a 100 on the D100, and we're starting a new campaign on the very first day.
I kind of hope that would happen because that would be hilarious.
Yes, that would be quite hilarious. But you remember so when you're playing that game, Tom or Josh, and the little rifts open up and a bunch of dudes spit out.
Yeah.
That is what the perils of the warp will basically be.
Well, my Grey Knights do nothing except run up to them with their dual swords and fuck some bitches up, and then it still opens up. So it's not my fault. We don't even use warp powers, and it still comes to fuck us in the ass.
Oh yeah. Well, every time you use a willpower, that's using warp powers.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I haven't played enough to where I have to use warp powers
No,
consistently.
I actually failed and then had to restart already.
What difficulty did you go on? Hard or the hardest?
Normal.
Normal?
What game are you guys playing?
Oh shit! I did hard.
Good luck,
I'm on
buddy.
3 out of 4. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I'll let you
Yes,
know
we
how
are
it goes.
talking Chaos Gate, Teamer. That's a fun game. I'll have to stream.
It does have potential. Lots of potential.
Yeah, I'll have to stream it sometime soon. I have a lot of work going on though right now, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it.
And Isaac was very kind to purchase it for me since I mentioned it. I had interest in it. So thank you, Isaac. I'll say that officially.
Oh, apparently we've muted Josh.
How did you mute me?
I can hear him.
Or I'm sorry, Tom. Talk, Tom.
Oh,
At all?
There he is. There he is.
kind of there.
There.
Yeah, we can barely hear you, but I'm assuming you're driving.
Yeah, I'm driving, so this is the best they can get right now because I'm
I can hear you
yelling.
now.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So that's warp abilities. Now there will be a beginning of every turn. So normally it's at the beginning of like your entire turn, but that's not how it's going to play. It's going to be the same kind of D&D setup where it's turn by rolls. So you will be able to. This will be what you call the abilities phase, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Now, are we getting to do the thing where like you can fire and then charge and all that other fun stuff, or like is charging like are we still doing the action and bonus action thing?
Well, what do you think would be better? Because action, bonus action seems to work. I think would work better in this particular scenario because then you're not having to. Because those are like different. Those are like different phases, and I think it'll add too much complexity. I think we keep the action, bonus action, and movement.
I agree. I can agree with that because I feel like each character having like 5 different phases they have to go through before you can move to the next one seems kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Or like each character moves through one phase, then you move to the next phase, then you move to the next phase, and then you restart the turn.
Yeah, because I think that'll slow it down. The point of this is try to get it to go faster.
Yep.
So we'll need to figure out what exactly our bonus actions are. So would that be stuff that you can use command points? That would be something that would be a bonus action?
Yes, in a sense. So it would be things like for orcs, I would make it Daka. So that would mean no matter the distance you have, anything you're doing that's going to add at that exact moment, like a one-time thing, that'll be your bonus action. So it'll be for your bonus action you can charge. For your bonus action you can disengage. For people who can do that, you know, all that kind of stuff.
One thing I would probably recommend, just because I feel like it'll make the game a lot easier if we do it this way, because I feel like a lot of us just cheated in the last one. Don't worry about magazines for the guns. You just have as many nut ammo as you...
Some of us didn't use ammo, so some of us didn't cheat.
Right.
I cheated.
I
I'll be honest.
reloaded. I reloaded a lot, and
So-
it screwed me over.
I ran up into their face and hit them with a big ass power claw.
Real quick, Teamer, we will be going over. So priest abilities are warp abilities. So we went over like the basic rules of it. We're gonna do an actual character creation next week, next week to get all that hammered out for each individual person. If you have ideas, feel free to put them in there, and we can definitely throw them in as things that people can use if they choose certain, like if they end up choosing a faction. So let us figure out the faction first. But yeah, so bonus action.
Or you can use your bonus action for reloading. That'd be a lot better than actually having to use your entire action for reloading.
All right. Oh yeah,
Right.
sorry, I got off track there. So here's the thing: we can either have reloading, right,
Mhm.
and the same amount of ammo distribution that we had before.
Okay.
Or I can greatly reduce ammunition and just not worry about reloading. So that way it evens out. That way, like, you have, 12 bolt rounds, but you have an entire combat, like, a whole timeline, a good long time to find more ammunition, but I'm not going to make you reload or keep a hold of magazines or anything like that.
I like the bonus action thing to reload.
Yeah, I feel like the bonus action is better in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never had an issue with reloading, but again, I didn't shoot a lot of things.
Because I feel
Because-
like what's going to happen is you're going to give us this limited ammo, and then we're going to miss all our shots, and we're going to be boned.
This is entirely possible. My issue is, so I run out of ammo. Usually, like a flamer has like 3 shots in it. Then I have to spend an entire turn just to reload, and I'm just standing there, can't really do anything.
Okay.
Yeah, and that slows it down. Like, then you want to speed it up anyway. So
Okay, so yeah, so bonus actions would so you can go ahead and put that in there that bonus actions reload can be used for a bonus action. Bonus actions can reload.
Yeah, I vote.
What was that, Tom? You cut out. Did anybody else catch that? I couldn't catch him.
Think he said, "I vote we don't suck ass shooting the best short range weapon in the game." And
Okay.
Well, I just think
I
we're
could
all
be wrong.
seasoned, warriors. We should know how to reload extremely quickly. It shouldn't be a whole action.
Yes, and I agree. Since we're kind of moving in that direction with the way we're changing the way the combat works, I think you're right. Reloading would be a bonus action, but then you couldn't add any like +1 to hit or more like DACA, things like that. No, I agree. I think that works. I think that will fairly balance it for us. That way we can keep that going.
cool.
Wait, what, Tom?
If you're talking, we don't hear you.
Well, he talks and it pops up, but then he cuts out
I know.
before it finishes.
It might just be a bad connection.
You know what,
Tom-
Tom?
I'm gonna call you, and then you talk through me, because if you're talking, it's not working.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works.
But
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, so we will we'll definitely use bonus actions as reloads. And what I might do is change up the amount of ammunition in things to make that a little bit more balanced on your guys' end. So you have to reload more, or things like that. Like if you're using a bolt rifle and you fire 3 rounds, for a burst fire, you would have to reload after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that because
Another big thing with combat is I feel like we need to simplify the pet system. I felt like it was a bit complicated in the last one.
So pets will be limited to. Oh, you know what? Pets are going to be a part of the bonus action system.
Okay.
So if you want to command your pet to do so, if you have a pet, it's going to be kind of like a secondary weapon. Your pet will be controlled by a bonus action command you give, or a command in the actual beginning of your turn.
Do I still get to name my pet?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good thing to do. I just feel like what you probably need to do is limit it to where the pet is always at least next to the character. That way you don't have to worry about moving 2 separate characters.
Yep.
You just move your one character and they're always on one side of you. You can just determine which side it is.
Yep. The only exception to that we'll make is during like times when we're not in combat. Does that make sense?
Well-
So like you can still explore with your pets, like use them as like, let's say you have a servitor that
Yep.
or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to put on their Becks, yep, link to carrot move. Unless otherwise specified. Perfect.
Okay, because we had, Rune was kind of set up to be like a medic assistance dog. And so if we had a pet that was designated as a mobile medic, that would be
That would
bonus
be so
action.
you would use your bonus action to send him there, and then he would come back. He would have a range he could go and then come back. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all things that I would have to like when I get to actually making them. Thought though, I guess you can't really give the true name to a hypothetical demon pet, but it's calling name. I don't get that one.
I want a demon pet. Can I have a demon pet?
Though I
I'm
guess
getting my squeak this time.
though I guess you can't really give the true name to a hypothetical. Oh, he's talking about because if you say the true name of a demon, you
invoke them.
you desummon them. You hurt them. Knowing their true name hurts them.
They're all named Bob.
They're all named Bob. Bob and Marvin.
Damn straight.
But yeah, so that works. Yeah, I think that's what Teamer was going for there. Yeah, yes, you are right. Bob Vin. Whoa, that was loud. All right. So that's pets kind of taken care of. It's cute but deadly. Okay. So if you want to now, so since we're kind of done with bonus actions, you want to cut to the command, like it's the thing you first do at the very beginning of your phase. So it's kind of like the command phase, yeah, or ability phase. So this is something you're going to do that consumes the whole phase, basically, the very beginning, but it's going to be something that is either a overarching thing and it's going to consume more points. So these are going to be...
question.
Yeah.
If we're going with the bonus action thing, why are we still having different phases?
Well, no, so at the very beginning, so it's just so you have a command action, a bonus action, and a regular action. Does that make sense?
So you're going to activate abilities, stuff like that.
Okay,
right?
okay. So basically, like shooting your gun is an action, but activating a psyker ability is a command, and then you have a bonus action on top of that.
Yes, correct. Perfect. That's
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
So a psyker ability would be one of those that you would use during that. Also, like if you're doing like let's say like Nick's character where he gives everybody a buff, that would be when he would use that.
Gotcha.
So like auras and
Hems and things like that. Things that
So the things that
affect
kill us. Got it.
Exactly. Yep, perfect. And make sure you state that that's also when you use warp abilities, Becks.
Isaac, I'm just gonna let you know, I've determined that I'm going to try to cause more chaos in this game.
Okay. That's fine by
So
me.
be prepared.
I
You better
am fully
have-
prepared.
You
God
better
damn
have
it.
plans upon plans. I need to see a binder.
Oh, goody.
When I send an entire planet into the warp,
All right.
you're gonna wish you had that binder.
All right. Now, so so the next part is let's say you die. Say you go down to 0 wounds. It doesn't mean your character's gone forever, right? You have 3 death wounds. So basically, if you're dead, like you can't move, you can't do anything, you're knocked out, and somebody hits you for 3 points of damage, you die all the way. Your character's gone.
Okay, so like you go down, like you would in Call of Duty.
so we
And
have
then you
death save
die.
rolls.
Yeah, you would make death save rolls as well. So at every time it would be your turn, you'd roll. If you got so it's very similar to the other way, but you have 3 of them total. But if let's say somebody shoots a grenade in the general area of you and you take damage, you automatically lose those rolls. But after 3 rounds, as long as you don't lose those wounds, you stand back up with 1 wound.
Gotcha.
Bleed out rolls, you got it. One plan for everything. Too much chaos? Exterminatus. I love it, teamer. Did that make sense, though, guys?
Tom has a question.
All
He
right.
said if you roll, do I have to roll 3 times in order to get back up, or say it again, Tom? Can you hear him, Isaac?
I can't hear him, no. You just repeat what he says.
Okay, say it verbatim, Tom. Go. Scenario A. When I get down, do I have
Hello?
3 attempts to get back up?
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Nick. Hold on one second. We're translating for Tom.
There's 3 damage, Tom. If you take 3 damage while you're down, you're dead.
Yeah. All right. So the other
And
thing
you
is
go down
you do have
infinitely
it,
amount
but
of
what
times.
what I think he was asking is yes, you do have 3 attempts to if during any of those times you roll a 20, a 6, you stand back up with 1 point.
He's saying, can you go down, back up, infinitely as long as you don't go
No,
negative?
you get 1 time around and then you're knocked out and then you just keep making death save throws until everybody's done. I got that. I'm not gonna lie. I got that exactly from the game from the Chaos Gate. I saw that happen in that game, and I was like, "That's perfect for this game." So I did steal that
Sounds
one.
like a load of shit to me.
Okay, so you go down, you succeed, you go back up, you go down on the next turn. What happens?
You just you have your 3 damage. As long as you don't get it at the end, somebody will have to come over and pull you back up. Obviously, I will put in abilities that will allow you to change that. So if you have a healer, it'll allow you to change that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you're good unless you fail your death saving throws or you take extra damage past 0. Outside of that, you can go up and down as much as you need.
No. You'll go down 1 time and then you just make the death save. So you come back up once. Have you ever had a knight fall in that game where they fall down? They die basically in
Yeah.
Chaos Gate.
Yeah.
You know how after 3 minutes they'll stand back up.
Yeah.
It's like that, but if they get hit again and fall down, they're dead. They're down for good. Doesn't mean they're dead, but they won't come back up in that game.
In that combat, got it.
Yeah, but you can always use other abilities and things like that from the healer to bring you back up again, or at least stop you from having to do the death saving throws, things like that. Other than that, I think that's it. Unless anybody has some questions for combat rules.
I have questions.
I know you do, Nikki.
So, what I missed? Can we go over it all again?
All right. So.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just go fuck myself.
I was gonna read it, fucker.
No, it's fine.
I was. Oh. All right. We're gonna go over it again so everybody hears it. AKA Borderlands rule. Yes, very, very similar, Teamer. Then you're out of action points. Yes? Exactly, Teamer. All right, so for your shooting now, Nick, you'll roll a d6 to hit and then a d6 to wound. The defender will then roll a d6 for an armor class save. Your weapons can change their defense roll. Warp abilities, you roll 2d6 and see if you reach a certain number, and if you do, it goes off. If somebody has a cancellation effect, they roll against your 2d6. If their number is higher, then they'll cancel out your warp ability. Bonus actions are now for reloading and pet actions, along with some of your simple attack options. Or defense options, both. You'll also have an overarching command time, at the very beginning of your thing. You can cast your warp abilities and other things that cast auras that help everybody out, things like that. Overarching things that consume ability points. I think everything else you heard. I really have simplified it down quite a bit.
None of this sounds simple.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna be honest. I think we need a practice round of combat to fully explain everything, at least in my mind. Because
all right, I actually don't disagree with you there. All right, perfect. So go to Roll20.
You had this planned, you sneaky you.
Actually, I didn't, but I will get it done here in about 10 seconds.
You had the perfect opportunity to bullshit your way through a compliment.
Well, that's all right. I don't do the lie stuff, so.
It's not lying, it's misleading.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
Well, so Snuggle Struggle's not loading right now, so it's gonna.
Isaac, Tom rolls stealth.
Hold on. We'll wait till you and Tom get home before we do it, but there it goes. when they get home, we'll do a quick combat phase.
Tom
Are you
has an
streaming right now?
ETA of
Yeah,
10
I
to
am
15.
streaming right now.
All right, sorry, streaming.
Tom has
I
an
just
ETA of
farted.
10 to 15.
All right, cool. So everybody's here for this one, and with pets. So this should be good. We'll get rid of the people we don't need. We'll just use.
All right, well, I just pulled in at the house, so let me carry a few things in, and then I'll be there.
All right, let me get in a few creatures here real quick. Tom, how far out are you, bud?
Tom is 10 to 15.
Okay, so in 10 of 15, it'll give me a second to do this. Now, do you guys have any other questions?
Can my pet be named Marvin?
Your pet can, in fact, be named Marvin if you wish.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We will do. We will fight some orcs. We'll give you 3 orcs to fight. All right. Because there are. So going back to the page. So there are some So the next part will be environmental stuff, Becks. Come on, play Necron, so the whole system has to be redone. You are right, teamer. All right, so if you're behind cover,
Wait, we can't play for Necron?
and Necrons have such screwed up rules that like 40K has to bend its rules around what Necrons do.
That
So
didn't
like
answer my
with
question.
Necrons, how like normally it sits would be a good roll is instead of bad roll, and a 1's a good roll.
Yes. It does all sorts of weird, stupid stuff.
So does that mean we can't be Necron?
No, you can be Necrons. I'm just going to omit that stuff. They auto reanimate, for example. You're right. Why does it keep going back up? All right, so it keeps doing. What are you doing, you stupid thing? Anyway, so for environmental stuff, I'll let you type it and then go look at it. You're gonna so half cover is gonna give you +1 armor. So if you have a 3 up, it would be a 2 up. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
So let's say you have half cover, right? Say you're behind a barrel, right? So you have half cover. It's going to give you 1 armor. So your normal armor save is 3 up. It's giving you 1 extra armor, so it'll give you a 2 up save for your armor. Does that make sense? And you can shoot over it, things like that. Full cover, you will have +2 to your armor, but -1 to your hit.
Tom says he did not follow any of that verbatim.
You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
I was talking to
So
Bex.
if you're hiding behind something that covers half of you, like a barrel or something like that, where they can still see you and you can see them, you're still going to get 1 added to your, like, for them trying to hit, you'll get 1 extra on your armor class. So if it's full cover, you get 2 to your armor class. So it's harder for them to hit you. But since you're fully covered, it's also going to be harder for you to hit somebody else. So it subtracts 1 from you being able to hit somebody else. Did I get that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But that seems fairly simple with the rules you go by. You just step out of cover, shoot, and step back into cover.
Yep.
If you have enough movement, yeah.
Yep. All right. So what do you mean, teamer? So -1 to hit feels weird. Oh, okay. So apparently I didn't explain it very well. He got it when you re-explained it. But he does come up with a good point. Damage over time. So that's going to be calculated in the roll 20, or I mean in the D&D fashion, where if you get a damage over time, you're going to make a Constitution or yes, there will be obscuring cover. Yes, teamer. That was going to be my next cover thing.
What kind of damage are we going to have? Like fire?
Like
damage?
let's say you have burn or something like that. They're going to roll against it with their D&D stats to save themselves from being hurt, same as you. Constitution, dexterity, things of that nature. and that'll happen at the beginning of your round until the effect fades. And so, like Teamer brings up, dense cover is going to be. He calls it dense cover. I call it like camo cover, where basically the person on the opposite side who can see through it is not going to have an effect, whereas somebody shooting at you is going to have a -1 to hit.
Gotcha.
So basically, you're harder to see, so you're harder to hit. Well, is it better to do them having -1 to hit, or better for you to have +1 to armor class? I think it's better to have it. I think it's better to have it because mechanically it would work that they're having more trouble trying to hit you, right? And that's how I see it.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then so there is another thing where we are going to have dense cover would be a part of this, along with any kind of swamp. So environmental footing, basically. If you have to run through a bog, you're not going to run as far. So that's just something to be aware of. It's it'll be explained to you when you get to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just terrain.
Yeah, terrain. There's differences in terrain, height, things like that. Height, I'll try to calculate as best I can where it'll extend your range, things of that nature. All that fun stuff. Area effect weapons will basically stay the same as they always have been. You're going to have a circle. You're going to put that circle wherever. If you miss, though, it's not gone. So you'll have to then roll a d6 for direction and then a d6 for distance. Does that make sense? So it'll be 6 inches whichever direction you roll it.
I feel like it's better to do a D8 for direction.
Okay, d8 works. I like that.
That way you can do north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast.
Yep. No, that's perfectly fine. I like that. But yeah, as far as combat goes, I think once we get area effects failed rolls, D8 roll for direction, and then D6 for distance. Becks.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I like that. Nick, one thing I didn't tell you about the warp abilities is when you roll double 6s or double 1s, you get the perils of the warp. I roll a D100, and then we have fun. Height extending range is a bit weird in my opinion for sci-fi ballistics, especially laser weapons, though I can see it help bypassing cover. So I have to work in the scale of the area. So I don't know. I'll make a determination on that a little bit later. We may try it and see how it works because it may be too hard to calculate. And sometimes some of the terrain, you can't really tell if you're above somebody or not. So maybe not. Maybe I don't do that.
Tom will be off for a couple of minutes, and then he will be back on once he gets upstairs.
Okay. But do you guys have any other questions? Where's Nick? Oh, he's not back yet.
Dave, you can talk to yourself.
Yeah, I was. I'll make sure to tell him. I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick, and I'll be right back. Oh, what did I? Okay.
Who's going to the hospital?
What'd
Okay.
you get?
So, do you guys have any questions?
Who's going to the hospital?
I went to the
Isaac did.
hospital.
He had to get stitches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to go get stitches today.
4 of them.
He was very concerned until he realized you were the one that went to the hospital. Then he wasn't as concerned.
Yeah.
Well, if Isaac goes to the hospital, it's pretty bad. I'm just letting y'all know.
Fine,
Like
I
he-
already knew why you went to the hospital. It's just I didn't know. I thought someone else was going to the hospital. I was like, ooh, story time.
No, Nate just walked in the door. I was like, okay, what did he do with his zip tie? Oh. All right. Do we have any more stuff to add to the environmental, or is that one good for now?
All right. So one other thing, it's going to be an ability you guys have, but I just kind of want to go over the rule. So there's going to be something also called invuln saves. Now these are things that you can save, so it doesn't matter how much armor piercing they have, you still have a save. Does that make sense? So when you get to certain armor classes and things like that, it'll eventually get to that point. You'll get items and things like that that'll add that to it.
I'll be honest. I'll be first. I don't think we should add that in.
Really? Why? I'm just curious.
I just think it'll complicate it too much. To be honest,
Okay.
like right now, you already have 3 rolls you have to worry about. Make sure you're actually damaging someone. Make sure you're rolling good on. Now you have like a 4th one to worry about to make sure it's like cool. I actually did damage to them. Now they just give you the big old middle finger.
Fair point. Okay.
Right, but there are some things that just auto hit no matter what.
Yes, but again,
Yeah,
I just
Yeah,
don't think that should be in there.
No, we won't have enough armor to qualify for these to start off with. It'll be something that we can decide if we want to add that in later.
We won't, but the enemies will.
Well,
I-
if they don't have invul saves and we
I
have
think-
auto hit weapons, I'm cool with this. Bring on the
I
flamers,
think
baby.
our tank will eventually get to the point where they'll have that save.
Teamer said, well, invuln is instead of armor. So you either choose one or the other. So if you have a 3+ on your armor, but a 5+ on your invuln, you choose one or the other. So you're not, it's just something you have to know you have. It's not going to actually cause another roll.
Oh, I think I'm thinking about the D6 to like door wounds then or something.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything like that. No.
Okay.
I'm talking about like, so your armor class is 3 up. Somebody's got a multi-melta that actually they can hit with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, something that does not affect the armor pierce. Armor piercing, AP.
Yeah, so no feel no pains or anything like that. I don't want to add that in. That's actually, in my personal opinion, one reason why when you'll see when 10th edition for Warhammer 40k comes out, all that stuff is going to go away because that is what's actually broken in the system right now. So if it's broken in the actual tabletop, not really looking forward to play it here. Mostly psychic barriers and energy shields. Exactly. So you'll see like mega orcs and things like that have the invuln saves, and then the psychics who don't really have armor will have invuln saves because they're using psychic powers to achieve the same thing.
Gotcha. That's more reasonable in my opinion.
Yeah. So that way, if somebody's a psyker and they're like, yeah, and your armor class is 6. So basically, if you don't roll a 6, you're screwed. But eventually, you'll get a non-squishy ability.
Gotcha.
If you want to go the psyker route. So yeah, so on their Becks, you can just put invulns are instead of armor. That's the best way to put that.
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Well, that's the gravel all washed now.
Awesome.
I was just actually washing the tank.
Where are those other 2 at? Where's Nick? He's
Probably
probably
with some of his ass.
he's
It's
probably
gonna be a
getting
happy
food.
little fishy.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, that's the goal.
But yeah, so and what's cool about that too is like you can for your during your command phase, if a bunch of your people don't have invuln saves, but you have, let's say you guys choose orcs and you have a custom force field, it can add a 5 up save to everyone within a certain distance of you. That way, you have more of an effect. Does that make sense?
Yep. Open up, you bastard door.
Yeah, so we were playing a game a few months ago with somebody who was playing Primaris Marines, Teamer, and he was just constantly recycling his dudes. They were dying, but he was constantly recycling while they sit on a point. And because of look out, sir, I couldn't target the apothecary constantly bringing back his dudes who are like 40 points apiece.
I just want to say I'm here.
Awesome. And Nick's made it back too.
And I'm back.
All right, Nick, I needed to make sure to tell you about the perils of the warp in this. If you roll a double 6 or a double 1, it initiates the perils of the warp, and it will cause me to roll a D100, and we will figure out the catastrophe that ensues after that for psychic powers.
So, Isaac, I don't mean to completely derail, but is there anything I need to really be like writing down?
It's all so there is a page in our D&D 40K Google Sheets that says combat rules.
Okay, if I can find that.
It's so the thing that Peter shared with us in the
Yeah,
in the
I
chat.
had to refind the sheet.
Yes, I agree,
Spelled
Teamer.
rules wrong.
I probably did. You put a
Spelled
Z on it.
Z.
I love it. Other than that, for the most part, did you have any questions, Nick or Tom, real quick about any of this? It's not really. There's not that many rules if you just read it real quick.
I'm so confused.
Yes,
New combat
considering
rules.
I haven't read it. And I have
Damn
no idea.
straight. Marvin is pretty damn cool, and Marvin is also awesome.
And damn straight.
I mean, I said that one.
These are the most
you
important
read it
combat rules.
backwards. Read it backwards. No, Marvin is also awesome. Marvin's
So
pretty damn
armor
cool.
repair, perception to reduce DC.
That can be removed. That was for the ship. We didn't end up actually using that stuff.
So attack rule, stat based on codex.
Yes. I agree, Teamer. The command points to make them tanky.
And let's note how pretty it is. Come on, guys.
So in other words, you're making pets significantly weaker is what I'm getting out of this.
No, not really, because you can use it as a bonus action. So basically, if you have let's say you have a squig, and you want him to go bite a dude, you're getting a second attack without using without having a second attack ability or anything like that. So they're very useful, and they'll have other things too.
And
how are we calculating? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't mean to jump ahead a little bit, but are we doing anything tomorrow?
No. Okay. It's Mother's Day, so we're not doing. That's why we're doing it tonight.
Cool. Thanks. Now I can schedule tomorrow.
Awesome. But yeah. So we'll just go through a real quick combat on Roll20. I already got it set up.
I won't be there.
You will?
I will not.
Okay. You kind of get it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you guys go over there, it's already up.
I am currently in it. We're on the ship.
Yeah. And that guy would have half cover, and this guy would have half cover. And this guy would have no cover. But yeah, we'll go over the combat real quick in here, and everyone will just get a chance to go, and I'll play the defensive side of it, and then shoot at you, and you'll play the defensive side of it.
Is it still under our normal?
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
under
Oh,
20?
yeah, it is. You guys
I said
just...
we're still on the ship.
Yep, sorry about that.
There we go. Hey, I remember this place. This is where Tom couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn.
Yeah.
Hey, the damage is still there.
It's what happens when you melt the broadside of the barn.
Yes.
Because
I may not be able to hit it, but man, I can see through it. All right, so we got Tom. I think that's everybody. All right, so Josh, you'll go first. That way you can use Marvin.
Perfect.
So we're
Okay.
gonna say you have a weapon that fires 3 rounds at half distance. Your full distance is 40. Your half distance would be 20. At full distance, it shoots 1. At half, it shoots 3. You have a total of 6 rounds in your weapon.
You say full distance 1, half distance 3, total of 3 rounds in the weapon.
No, 6 rounds in the weapon.
6 rounds in weapon. Okay.
Yep. And Marvin has a bite for 1 wound.
Okay. So I'm going to move behind that, what I assume is half cover.
Yep.
And then shoot at this bad boy.
All right.
which should be at half.
He is in obscured cover because it's like smoky and stuff. So you have -1 to hit. Your normal hit is on a 5 up. So on a 6 you hit.
Only on a 6 I hit?
Yep. Orcs suck at shooting.
Hmm.
But they shoot a
So what
lot.
would happen
But
if
you're
I
in
shoot at
half
this one, then?
distance, so you get to roll 3 dice to do it.
And then at this one, it's 1 dice. And what's the DC to hit?
You would be on a 5 or 6 you would hit.
5 or 6.
Yes.
Got it. I'm still going to shoot this bad boy.
All right.
So 3d6s.
So 3d6s to hit.
I hit none.
You hit none of them. But now you have your bonus action, and you can use Marvin to go run over there and bite him.
And so how far can Marvin move?
We'll say 45 for now. But what it'll be is I'll give you a set distance he can move, and then he'll move back to you. Does that make sense?
Okay,
So
so
you'll have a distance he
move.
can move, and then he'll just move right back to you. So they're not
Right.
scattered all over the place.
And in danger.
Yep.
Okay. And then
He'll-
his was
You roll 1d6 to bite him, and he'll hit on a 3 up. And there, he got it.
He hits.
All right,
And
and
1 wound.
so that's 1 wound. You have no AP, so your wound is his bite is going to be 5, and his toughness is a 5. So on a 3, you wound. 3 or higher, you wound.
I rolled. It was a 5.
No, roll again.
Oh, I roll a second time. Sorry.
Yes. And,
Nice.
And that's what do we think about rolling? So
Double wound.
like for double wound, do we want to set that up under the hit or under the wound for our 6s?
What do you
for
mean?
double damage.
Or so I think it's gonna have to go by.
I think you're going to have to do it by the gun. One gun gets more bullets, and uses more bullets, but the gun, depending on how it's used, can do more damage.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Because like orcs, when they roll a d6, they get an extra shot on their hit. So every time.
Or what you could do is, since we're doing the bonus action reload thing now,
Yeah.
you could do it as just different types of ammo instead of different types of gun. Let's say like even thing like you have normal bullets and then you have hollow point bullets, something like that.
Yep, that's a good point. I like that.
On certain things, a d6 has extra benefits.
Yep. So on you, and it'll always be on your hit roll, never on your wound roll. But so Marvin hit on a 5, and then wounded on a 6. So
That's
that
well
killed
done.
the Orky. He had one wound. That's all he had.
Way to go, Marvin.
Okay.
So
Marvin. I knew
that
you
kind
was
of,
pretty
if you
confident.
get it,
So
it
then he
kind of
comes
speeds
back
up the combat. Becks, you're up. You're gonna have a bolt gun. You have 1 round at full distance, 2 rounds at half distance. Your total distance is 50.
All right. I'm shooting. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move here. Hold on. I'm gonna move to half cover here,
Okay.
and Tomix comes with me,
Yep.
and I'm gonna shoot this guy.
All right. And now you are behind obscuring, so it doesn't affect your end, but he can't. He is -1 to hit you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So go ahead and fire. So you're gonna roll 1d, or what's your distance now? You're not half anymore, or you're not at 25, are you?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, you are. So you get to roll 2.
Okay.
All right.
3 and a 6.
All right. So that's 2 hits. So on a 6, you're gonna have reactive rounds. So we'll get that out of the way. So what that means is it explodes, meaning as long as you wound with the one for the D6, or with it you got the 6 on, it'll do 2 damage instead of 1. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
let me roll the first hit then.
Okay, roll for a wound, and you'll be hitting on 2s, so you got it.
That's 1, and then I'm gonna roll for the second one that I got the 6 on.
Yeah. And you got it. So he took he's gonna roll he was supposed to have an armor save. So we're gonna say he has an armor save of he's they're all wearing blue, so he has a 6 on his armor save. He failed. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. I tried to do it where you could see it. So he in
Yeah,
fact
Can you
died.
explain that again? Sorry.
So she rolled a reactive round, hit and wounded, and he rolled his armor save, which had to be a 6, but he only got a 3,
Got it.
so he died.
Understood.
All right. I'll just hold on. Copy, and we will put another one over here for now, so the next person can. All right. Nick, you're up, bud. You're gonna have a las gun, a las pistol. Its range is 25. It has 1 AP and 1 shot. So you shoot once, but if you hit them, you get -1 AP. They don't get an armor save against it. These aren't the actual stats of the weapons. I'm just using these to show the different how things work. So this is a pistol. You have 25. So you'll roll a d6. If you get a 3 or higher, you hit. You got a 4, so you hit. Which one are you shooting at? This one?
The guy.
That guy? Okay. He had +1 to armor, but you still got it. So, or he had +1 to armor.
But I have an AP, so he doesn't get an armor roll.
He does not. Well, you're right. He does not.
So suck it. He don't have shit.
All right. So now you're gonna roll to wound. You got it. It was gonna be a 4 because you're evened up on damage or on toughness.
What do you mean?
So damage to toughness damages your weapon strength versus toughness. You evened out. You're both at 5, so it had to be a 4 or higher. You won the hit regardless. How about adding a rule for pistols, giving them normal weapon range, but if they shoot about half of their range, they get minus. Oh, okay. I see. I think that's actually a really good idea, Teamer. You want to throw this into the data sheet, Becks, for pistols, so I remember. I really like how he came up with this. So for pistols, so we don't hamper ourselves too much when we have pistols, you have -1 to hit at full range. At half that range, there's no minus. I really like that. I think that'll really help you guys be able to pistols become more useful. Otherwise, you won't really use them.
Oh, another thing that might be important with pistols, I feel like we should be able to use pistols in close combat.
Yes, that is a very important rule.
Did I kill this guy or what?
Yes, you did.
How much damage did I do to him?
1.
How did I do 1 damage? I rolled a 5 for damage for wounds.
No. That's so it's hit and then wound. Wound as in it hits him, but sometimes it's not going to hurt him. If the damage of your weapon doesn't exceed his toughness, so think about you're shooting your las pistol at a tank. Doesn't matter how many times you hit that tank, you're not gonna hurt it.
What happens if you throw an enemy in front of us that's stronger than all of our weapons? Do we just sit there and suck his dick until
No,
he's dead?
because if you roll a 6, no matter what, it wounds.
That honestly depends on if we're Dark Eldar or not, though.
Nick, that's when you have to use your charisma to get him to die.
What charisma? My character's dead.
All right, Tom, you're up, buddy. You can move yourself wherever you want if you want to try to use a melee or something like that. If you want to, so I can show you how melee works.
Sure.
Need the melee.
Yeah, I don't even know what weapons I have.
I'll give you the stat for the weapon when you get there.
Well, you're giving me a melee weapon, or I'm dying.
Yeah, you have a choppa, and so since you are a orc and you're in melee, you get 3 attacks with your melee weapon that is a strength 5 against his toughness 5, so it'll be evened out at 4. But you get 3 attacks because you're an orc.
Wait. Strength 5, armor 5, evened at 4. How does that work?
So when so 4 is the middle, right? So 4, 5, 6, or 3, 2, 1. So if your weapon produces more damage than their toughness,
4 is middle.
Yeah, there you go.
So by having 3 attacks here, do I just roll 3d6?
Yep. Yep, 3d6. And you hit on 3s, so you got 2 of the hits. So now roll 2 wounds. So, and you're going to be wanting 4s or higher. So you got 1 wound in. You don't have any AP, so he's going to roll a d6 against you if he gets a 6 or higher, which he doesn't. That's how that works. So, in all honesty, you guys just killed 5 enemies that quick. Combat should be far more efficient, but that's how it's going to work for the most part. Everything's going to be based on your weapon stats.
So what's that roll against me that he did?
That's the armor save. Everybody has an armor save. It's based on D6 as well. And yes, you are right, Team Eldar do have poison weapons.
So the cool thing is we roll to see if we can bonk. We roll to see if the bonk gets through. They get to say, oh, heck no, the bonk doesn't get through. And then hopefully they die.
Yep. But that way we don't have to worry about, like, armor class, and I don't have to remember 50 different stats, whether or not something where it's like, okay, this is this and this and this. It'll be far more efficient, I promise you. Toughness comes from the body. Armor comes from the armor. Yes, exactly. Toughness comes from the strength of the person, whereas the armor comes from, if you're wearing power armor, you have more armor.
Question.
Yes.
So let's say I'm an 8-foot orc and I decide to throw a smaller enemy into another enemy. How will that work?
All right.
Because
So we will. So
game.
when it comes to that stuff, that's when we kind of meld the two together. You pick up the enemy. That's a strength check. So that's going to be a D20. Right. And if you pass your strength check, you then hurl him. Then you roll your D6.
Okay.
Depending on the weapons and things equipped to it will depend on the damage.
Wait,
will be
doesn't he
normal
also have to
strength
do like
damage.
a
So if I'm
direction
at
check
20
on the
strength, hold on, Tom, hold on.
Well,
So if I'm at 20 strength and I roll a d20, does that still add 5?
Yes, it would in that case for picking him up and throwing him.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, now go ahead, Tom.
So wait, so he has to strength check to pick him up, then he has to have a strength check to throw him,
accuracy.
and then he probably also has to have another check for direction. On top
No,
of
so
hitting.
the only time he would have a check for direction would be so if he threw him, because it's an object that isn't going to disappear. It's not a bullet that smacks into a wall. So let's say he picked up Nick, because Nick, pissed in his Cheerios that day, and he throws Nick at the enemy. Nick goes flailing about, holding his knives out, trying to be all cool, looking like he did it on purpose. And he rolls a 1 on his hit. Well, Nick's still going to go flying. He then rolls a D8 to see the direction he goes, and then the D6 to see how far he goes that direction.
Yeah, So it's only if he
misses.
Only a nat 1.
Nat ones
Yes,
will do
roll
that.
the right.
Or yeah, just misses in general. If you miss, that's what happens.
Okay.
We might want to go ahead and clarify. I think might be for the D8. Just start at 12 o'clock and work clockwise. So
Yeah, that's fine.
1 north, 2 northeast, 3 east. Now we just easy know what's going on.
Yep. What I might do too is grab a picture of compass rose and stick that on the maps when we do combat. That way you know.
Gotcha.
But
You might want to be careful with that because you can rotate the maps.
I know, but so if you rotate the map, and I have an object set on the background, and you rotate the map, it'll actually change.
You'll break it with it?
Yeah, it'll.
Okay, cool.
Because you're rotating it, it's never going to change because the map is always going to change. It's just your view of the map. So.
Gotcha.
But do you guys have any questions about the combat?
Can I have an example of throwing cheeks at Tom?
Yes, go right ahead. Walk up to Cheeks.
Okay, we're gonna pretend I have my 22 strength, like I do.
Okay. All right, so
Okay.
you're gonna roll a strength check. So roll a d20. Nick, are you a willing compatriot in this throw?
Yes.
Well, of course.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my knives fucking out like I'm cool or something and had it planned.
Did it on purpose.
All right, sounds good. So 7 plus your 5 or 10 points or whatever
Okay,
you add to
okay.
stuff. You make it. All right, so you fling
Okay.
him.
Throwing me at Tom, right?
Yeah, you're throwing
Tom.
him at Tom,
There's 1d6.
and then you roll a d6.
Damn it.
So instead,
Perfect.
you see, I was here, and then you just kaboom, and I'm fucking on the ground.
All right, so now you're gonna roll a d8.
And
I
now
like
I'm
that one more. I like that one more.
No, you rolled
Let's roll that
2
one.
in a row, 2 ones in a row. Dex check
I
for the throw to stick the landing, get additional damage though.
Okay,
Well,
that was
hold
the D8.
Hold
All right, so the
on,
D8 is
hold
2. So he's gonna go north.
East.
What north? You said clockwise, so it'd be north. Yeah, northeast.
East.
So from
You rolled
where
a
he
2,
was
so-
supposed to land, he would go this way. But now you need to roll another D6 to find the distance.
That would be the that would be the high one.
2, 3, 4, 5. So Nick ends up over there.
All
wait,
part
how much
of the
damage does
plan.
Nick take?
My character is making popcorn over the
How would
flaming
that work?
vehicle and watching these shenanigans. Want some Walker?
I
I
want to
have
know how much damage Nick takes.
That's actually a good question. How much would the recipient of the yeeting take?
So that's going to depend on a dex check, like Teamer said. So Nick, roll a dex
Okay.
check.
Oh my gosh.
20.
You
A 20.
you agreed to this, Nick. That's
Oh my god.
You killed him. You killed him.
No, he breaks his tailbone and has to walk around
People-
with a donut cushion for the next 5 turns.
Hey, that's too close to home. Hmm.
Okay, so he'd take how
He-
much damage?
He would take 1 damage. So saying he has
Never
3
getting
because he's a
thrown
super
again.
awesome guy, he would take 1 wound from that.
I am
Okay.
never getting thrown again.
No, Cheeks. You don't understand. This was the practice. You're supposed to get the errors out in practice.
Yeah.
You're supposed to make mistakes in practice. The real thing, it'll go flawless. Trust me.
So
Yeah.
even a good one though, like let's do it again. A good one, your accuracy is still like there, right?
A good one.
No, good one
That's a
means
good
you'll hit him.
one.
That's
Well,
it.
No.
Okay, so
that's
that
your
was a good
strength
one.
check,
That was a
and then
19,
five.
so a 25 plus a 5 to hit.
Well, yes.
Yeah, so you'll just hit it. You'll just stab into him, doing 2 damage because you have 2 knives.
Oh.
Okay.
And he'll make an armor class save of, let's say his armor is 3 or higher.
Would I,
Or you have to
would I
roll a
not
wound
get-
now.
would I not get extra damage because I've been thrown into him?
Well,
Yeah, I
so
feel like that momentum.
Like
bonus would,
obviously,
count.
I'm gonna be able to do more damage given my strength is doo doo butter, and I just got thrown into this guy.
He just got thrown by the real Hulk.
All right.
So
in the case of throwing people, when it's when it's a compliant subject, The compliant subject will roll the wound because he's got to aim his knives as he flies in. So Nick, roll a d6. So we'll say, oh, that's not good.
Twice.
I have two
Twice.
d6s,
Twice.
right? 'Cause I have two
Two
weapons.
knives, right?
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
You do. Exactly. So you did get one. So now Tom will make an armor save. So roll a d6, Tom, and on a 6 or a 5 or higher, you don't take the damage. You take the damage.
Wait, but why is it 5 or higher when he only rolled a 3?
Because he had a bonus of 1.
Because your armor is 5 up.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Think of
Where
it,
do I see
think
what
of
my
it like
armor
your
is?
armor
Or
is in
is
effect.
that
We'll,
like written
we'll get to.
down?
I'm just giving you arbitrary numbers. It just
Okay,
be aware that these aren't set in stone or anything like that.
Yeah, when we
I
make our
swear to
characters,
Jeebus,
we'll get it
if
set.
Tom has a 5 or up armor class while having a massive amount of health as well, I'm gonna be upset.
So it's just
Because
one
last game
wound
he had
takes,
shit
right?
armor and really high health.
Yeah, Josh, I was just about to. I was going to say you can't be the real life Hulk. The real life Hulk is strong and has a lot of HP.
Proved the lot of HP part.
All right, all
He
right.
has a really strong, but
Have you seen the
I don't know
Hulk?
about the
Though?
health.
The Hulk takes a beating.
He does.
kind of fell out of the plane.
All right.
Did you see me? I took a beating too.
All right. The inquiring minds want to know. So, have you guys thought about the faction you guys want to play as?
So
be
Walker
honest.
wanted to do the Drug Empire. I am keen to the 40k Ratmen. I don't think either of us will be upset with something else. However, I don't want to speak for Walker, and I don't want to speak for someone else.
I don't care for as long as it is within the factions or faction or races type to be chaotic.
I was thinking Dark Eldar because that way we have to find people to torture them. Like completely swing from my goody two shoes Celestine ways.
Isaac, you better watch out for Mother's Day. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't know how X-rated will go, but it'll be fun. I'll tell you that. But all right, so, what do you guys think?
That was just my thought.
I'm down. Like I said, I'm down for whatever. I just want to be a pirate.
Okay, so that goes right along with the Dark
All of
Eldar.
it.
I mean, we can be chaotic pirates. That's funny.
I've lived the Dark Eldar life. It didn't do too well for me.
But this time, your
Hey,
your
you
your
threw the-
social
you threw the orc and
interactions
blew up.
will only be with other Dark Eldar. So that's the thing.
Only?
That's why you're all picking
Exclusively?
one faction, so I don't have to try to finagle some mystifistical fucking way of getting you guys to go through a human city while you're Dark Eldar and orcs and shit. That was a pain in
To
the
be
ass.
fair, you didn't have to do that before. You just care way too much about the lore.
You're right. I do care about the lore, but that's
Yeah, but we turned him into Chihuahua and it
I-
worked out really well.
yes.
That was dumb. I was not a fan.
It worked out really well, though.
I just wanted to kill people by existing, and I couldn't. And then
Right.
Isaac
Wait, are
said
we all
that
being
I could
tentacle
kill the
monster
children,
people?
and then he changed the children to not be children, and then it wasn't as cool. And then he stole my knife from me. I don't even know why I'm here anymore.
Was his Dark Eldar his first character or his second character?
Both. His third
So his
character
first
was the human.
character- Okay, so his first character was the weird rogue guy that got fucked by the orc, that then had a baby that turned into the tentacle
Hentai monster,
tentacle
yeah.
hentai
We're
monster.
gonna be Dark Eldar. Can I go back to being my tentacle monster?
But long story short, both of them are
Oh,
Dark
thank you,
Eldar,
Teamer.
correct?
If you guys
Yes,
look,
they-
you can look at the in the what I'm assuming is the stream chat. Teamer actually posted the toughness strength relations table wound rolls in the player chat.
Ooh, cool.
So cool.
Pull it up. Do, do, do.
So you guys can see that. But yeah. So are we gonna do Dark Eldar then?
If I can be a tentacle monster, I'm down.
You can be
Wait.
another Talos. In fact, that'll work out pretty well.
So wait, are all Dark Eldar like the tentacle people, or
No.
No,
Here.
There's lots of
It
different
can
kinds.
also be
There's
his
a ton.
first part that got fucked in the ass by the orc.
Just think, Tom, you actually will be able to sneak this time.
So, what are the other things that are actually like super OP in Dark Eldar? Are they like the grotesques and stuff? Those are kind
So there's the grotesques. Those would be kind of cool. Hold on, I'll pull it up on stream if you
Yeah,
guys
the
want.
Dark Eldar are pirates and slavers. So they have it's like almost like a vampire thing. They have this like absolute
Wait.
need.
Pirate enslavers?
Yeah, we can sell people. We have to like make people hurt.
Wait, are we the pirates
We-
or are we enslaving pirates?
We are pirates.
We are pirates
that
that enslave
pillage
others.
and enslave
Okay,
things.
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so we
Like-
have to feed off of like physical and emotional
we have
pain.
We survive by torturing things.
We have to torture them
We kinky.
All right, I'm down.
in
we have
whatever
to
way
be
you want.
evil.
Yeah,
But we
Torture-
can
Does that wait? Do we get to torture each other too?
no. We're so
You can.
So
Yeah.
there's no aggressive nipple play between each other.
All right, Nick, bend
Because,
over.
I mean, cheeks.
we could even all be like very sneaky ninjas.
I feel like it'd be a bad idea for all of us to be the same class because Isaac would fuck us in some way, shape, or form.
No,
mean,
what's gonna happen?
yeah.
is-
That's the thing is we would like it.
Well, here's the thing.
Hard to argue.
Isaac would probably like get something to play with that, and then there'll be like one of us that rolls a nat 1 for like stealth during a critical time and just dies.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that leads to all of us dying.
All right. So hold on. So my dark elf lore is not that high. So give me a second.
The cool thing about
Oh,
Dark
you
Elves
use
is that
Dark
they can
Elf,
actually like,
Isaac?
go through the warp. They like jump to place.
All right.
And
So
it's not really the warp; it's like in between the warp and the real space or something like that.
Yeah.
Webway? Is it the webway?
reavers.
I think it's
are...
Webway.
Okay.
Beastmaster.
Nope, those won't really work for us. I'm trying
No,
to find
we're all
what you guys would be
basically-
able to pick from, and we'll at least get your characters like as far as like what you want to play as picked, but that's about it.
Wait, Isaac.
Yeah, or you guys can
Instead
look
of
them
the-
up. I'll just give you.
Can we be the Harley Quinn subfaction of the Dark
Yes,
Elder?
yes. So any sub faction or anything like that, you can be as well. So yeah, so you have
if we're doing
Harlequins.
pirates, we gotta do Harlequins.
Yes, they do have psychers, Teamer. They have psychers.
They have witches.
They have witches. They have succubi. So yes, they do actually have psychers, but they won't be like quite to the same degree. So you have Talos Pain Engines, which is what Nick will be. Ravager, what is that? Oh, that's a plane.
Well, hang on. I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
at this
So
shit.
go ahead and look, guys.
Where my book is.
Big people.
So you wanted to be the. No, they aren't Sly Plow or Slingers. No, there won't be a whole lot of that. But I'm still going to use things from the world to be able to give people powers that are helpful. Otherwise, the combat will be kind of stagnant. So, like if it'll be kind of like a warp power, but sort of kind of not really. Things of that nature. The incubi, they're kind of like they would have psychic powers, I think, because they really don't do anything else. You have commanders, Hexstrite blood brides. There you go. Dark FL witches, the Hexerite. Basically, they have chain whips. They use power weapons.
Well, I think wouldn't we all want to be more of like the actual characters though for it? Like you wouldn't want to just be one of the witches or the Cabalite warriors or anything. Like someone would probably want to be like Succubus. Succubus is kind of cool. Same with like Homunculus. Homunculus is awesome, and Archon is fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool ones.
So you could be a Scourge. Scourges look kind of fucking sick and would be cool to play as. But like you wouldn't want to be just a little witch because they're like kind of useless. I mean, not really, but you know.
Well, so you got to realize, like, so let's say you wanted to be Succubi or Archon. You wouldn't be Archon himself. You would be somebody aspiring to be the Archon. Does that make sense? So you would have the powers and the situation of Archon. You would just be your own character. So it's going to be you playing that role. Does that make sense?
Yes, Isaac, it makes sense.
Okay.
But it's just
We're
like if
doing
we
this?
wanted to be someone that plays the role as like one of the like Hellion riders, like part of the Hellion Riders is the fact that they're like cool together. You know.
Yeah.
If we're doing
No.
this, I kind of want to be a Beastmaster
Okay, I like that.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And my beast will be named Marvin, and you can't stop me.
I call
I'm
Death
probably gonna
Jester.
be a Hellspider.
Death Jester. That's what you're going with?
Okay, I get a big gun and a cool mask.
You like one of the Harlequins?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of the Harlequins, yeah.
Can it be a Hellspider named Marvin?
So what are you thinking, Tom?
About everything.
Yeah, well, what do you want to? What are you thinking about being?
I'm still kind of down to be a rogue.
They have that. There's like an assassin one.
Oh, is there a new list for that or something?
Let me see.
So
hold on.
you're just gonna look up Dark Eldar, 40k Dark Eldar, and it'll pop up with all sorts of stuff.
I'm just on the Games Workshop website looking at the models.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm on the 40k wiki, so but yeah.
Some 40k wiki.
Like a
Bex, you want to come Harlequin with me and do the Shadow Seer?
I'm considering the succubus.
Yeah, so I'm under the
Succubus is kind of
category
fire.
of Dark Eldar, but I don't.
So are you at Games Workshop or are you on like the wiki?
I'm on the wiki.
Let's see.
You don't want to be a Mandrake. That's a warrior.
So I'm sharing my screen.
yeah. I think he wants to be. Is it a? No, that's not it either.
So we've got like the Drakari, which
can't
one
see
guy
it.
that I do what?
What about the Venom?
That's a ship.
That's
Yeah.
a ship? Venom?
Yep.
Right.
I can't see
Okay.
anything. Now.
Never mind then.
Not load. It's still like
Yeah,
loading.
error.
I think your
Error.
internet
Never
just
mind.
sucks that bad.
Commit. Before assassins.
Which one are you doing? Were you?
He wants
Walker?
he wants an assassin. So in all honesty,
Walker.
like Walker?
I'm doing the Death Jester.
So
The Death Jester, not the Shadow Seer. The
Yeah, not the
Shadow
Shadow Seer.
Seer. Yeah,
Blood Bride, Tom.
that's
Shadow Seer
the
look fun.
So can
that's
you
the
see it now
succubus.
or no?
Oh, that is the same as Succubus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you see it now, Tom? Probably not.
No.
He'd be a rack.
That's fucking stupid.
WRACK.
Okay.
Either way, you would just want to go
Where's a link to look at all of the different stuff?
just go to gamesworkshop.com. Just type in gamesworkshop.com. And then you'll click on Warhammer 40k, like Warhammer 40,000. And then you'll go down. You'll want to check out like Xenos armies.
I like scourges
So you
as winged heavy weapons
the
wielders.
Drakari one.
Agreed.
Oh,
And you'll
dude,
see a bunch
I
of
don't.
those.
I'm way behind you because this website's super slow.
I
Isaac.
think one of the cool ones, like
Yeah.
the Homunculus.
I'm just gonna say this. The Death Jester in 40k just seems busted as shit.
Well, they're still I think tier 2 or tier 1.2.
What'd you say, Tom?
I'm at the
Like on an
40K
unmodified
page.
hit roll or roll of 6
Can
hit
you
roll
click Warhammer
for
40k?
3 additional hits.
Yeah.
All right, on the left where you can
Enemies don't get the bonus it covers.
you should see something that says Xenos armies. You click
Yeah.
that, and then click on Drakari underneath that,
Okay.
and then it should bring up a bunch of stuff.
Okay. But
And those are some models, and then you can filter some other ones in and out.
Yeah. But if you want assassin though, I would definitely recommend looking at the rack. WRACK, because they are the assassins.
Which one is that one under?
It is the Kamarog. Each rack is a nightmarish example of the homunculus master's surgical craft and the individual culprit to reshape into a walking instrument of eternal torture, marked as a physically altered, better to terrorize. Rack's hands are it just says Dark Eldar Rack, ready for combat. But yeah, they're kind of like stitched together assassins. Like you send them to die basically, but we won't do that with yours. You can they use them in the Kamarog to stealth around in a circular field. So it seems it seems about right up his alley. And you would get that's kind of cool. So you would as the Rack, you would get kind of like the Talon as well. It's kind of like a bipedal Talon, basically, Nick. Well, what it does is, so he gets all these little squirts of like adrenaline and things like that give him boosts to his melee damage and stuff like that.
Yo, what is the Shadow Seer? That guy looks sick.
I'm not sure.
He's a Harlequin.
Oh, he is?
I know that. But
So, Isaac, if you look at my stream, I just like I'm under Drukari. But
okay, so scroll.
So you'll have to like filter out Drukari and like filter in like Harlequins.
All right, so scroll down. Scroll down. Keep going. And apparently you went too far. Go back up. All the way to the top. Right there. Go down a little. All right. So hold on. Let me get to so stop right there. You see the list of things that you have right there? I'm going to tell you exactly where it is on there. So the Rack is
8.2.2.
Thank you. Yeah, 8.2.2. So if you look at all the little points on there, oh yeah, there you go. That would be the one that I think you would, if you want to stay as a rogue type, that would be what you would do.
Okay.
You would get specialized like combat stems and stuff like that. Would be your like bonus actions and stuff. You get an extra attack or an extra 2 attacks, or you would get damage resistance, things like that, poison, other things.
Yo, I want to know about this Shadows here. That guy looks sick.
But yeah, so it looks like you guys are sticking with with those. So we will do a Dark Eldar playthrough.
I'm considering a Lamian. Be all poisonous and gross.
There you go.
I still got my sniper rifle. I'll be happy. I will turn it into like a little instrument. So I'm like playing a violin as I'm doing it between it to make it eerie. Seems fun.
I think I want to be a Shadow Seer, Isaac.
Shadow Seer?
Yeah.
Where's that?
They're Harlequin.
Harlequins. I don't see the actual. I don't actually see the Shadow Seer though.
Yeah, the Rack is really cool looking.
If you just Google Shadow Seer data sheet, you can just look at it. The first link is for the Wahapedia.
Nope, too many W's. I can't. I'm having. Okay, so none of that works. All right.
Hallucinogen grenade launcher.
A Shadow Seer is basically a psyker.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It was kind of cool. Like, I would pretty much be the same, I think, as Palos is like a psyker. But a Shadow Seer is like more of a... It's like a wizard.
Yeah,
it's got a cool staff. And I want that staff.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. You get the pistols. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I will. I
want the staff in its hand in the pictures. I want that, Isaac. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if it's not in the codex. I want it.
It'll be your attunement. So all psychers have to have an attunement.
Oh, what's an attunement?
Yeah. Thank you, Teamer. Yeah, I see that now that they're technically a different thing, but they all work together. So I will allow Harlequins and any of the Drukhari to all work together.
Ooh.
They'll just have to
Yeah, it's
stay out of the
it's
webway
called
for
a
a
mist
little bit.
staff. Mist staff. And a close combat weapon. It's the attunement for their casting. So be aware of that. When you're talking about psychers and stuff, if I take your attunement, you don't get to play in the warp no more.
Well, if you take my attunement, I'm quitting the campaign. So we'll see what happens.
So, did you read your abilities? There's Dance of Shadows.
What's up?
So you have Dance of Shadows, which is going to give them -1 to hit because you give everybody gets all swifty and intensifies his shrouding and allows people to move around real quick.
Where are you
By the way, just for the lore, I'd recommend reading up on Yanari. Yes, I will actually. I saw that earlier when I was flipping through these. I will actually look that up. The hunt for the Yanari. I don't know anything about it. I will look it up, Teamer. Thank you very much. Veil of Tears. Gesture into the air.
Oh yeah. That's sick. Basically makes myself and my team invisible.
Yep. Peal of Discord, drawing a slow breath and enters water. Stratosphere throws back the head and sings out a perfect note. Horrific Banshee Scream. Oh, so they would be deafened, bursts brains and leaves few. So it's their version of Smite. So that's kind of cool. Shards of Light. That's going to be another one. Cool. Yeah. So those are things you have to look forward to, along with some others that I come up with because there's not a whole lot there. Flip Belt. These devices enhance Harlequin's agility to incredible levels. Cool. All right. I that's all. So just know
I really like the very first part of this where it said, what does it say? Uses their. Hang on. What does it say exactly? Where is it? It said something really fucking cool. Oh yeah, it says it's a powerful psyker whose abilities are centered around spreading confusion and fear.
There you go.
So I want that.
So walkers are sniper. What did you pick, Josh?
Beastmaster.
Oh, Beastmaster. Okay, so we have our sniper, we have our druid. Ooh, actually, the Beastmaster. That's gonna be a lot of fun because then we can come up with fun ways to create abominations. That'll be cool.
Yes, I'm not sure if I want to go with a Chimera or a Hell Spider as my primary.
Maybe he can control a Talos and that can be his beast.
I don't think that's how that works.
We're gonna start small and work up, but
yeah. Don't worry. We can go with the part where I'm a dominatrix in the bedroom. Jeez, don't worry.
Okay.
It's all part of the Beastmaster.
This is so. I'm so getting deleted off YouTube for this fucking stream.
Since I'm a rogue,
first goal is to still a Space Marine for Josh to have fun with, and then mutate it somehow.
Exactly. Oh, that sounds like fun.
They do have access to combat drugs. That's cool.
Yeah. We have to.
Is a Beastmaster essentially like a summoner?
You'll have your one pet that you'll run around with, and then he'll use his actions to give him boosts or shoot a gun, right? You still have your pistols and whatnot, but you'll use your actions to inject them with the beast with combat drugs, giving it abilities, and then when it goes out and attacks and then comes back, things like that.
So, is there any character that can just summon things or
like a necromancer?
The closest you're gonna get is the Beastmaster. Correct me if I'm wrong.
See, I'm trying to essentially find a new way to kind of make belief again, but kind of not.
God damn it, Tom!
You trying to what?
He wants to be an orc without being an orc.
If not, I'll settle for just stabbing people in the ass.
All right, so you can the Drukhari are definitely good at stabbing people in the asses. There's definitely plenty to choose from
Kind
for
of
there.
the only thing they're good at.
Yeah, it's really their mainstay, if we're being completely honest.
Hop out of the web weight, stab one, hop back in with the
Yeah.
loot.
Basically, yeah.
You are right. So, Teamer has a good point. Drukhari aren't usually psychers because it makes their souls tastier for Slanesh. So be aware of that, Nick, that you will have to invigorate your soul more often than the others.
What do you mean?
So by
More
you,
torture.
you'll have to torture more people. I'm sure you're going to just be heartbroken about that.
Wait, can I get poison blades?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's kind of you
That
will have
involves
poison blades
torturing
straight out the
people,
gate.
so you're good.
They all get poison
Yeah.
blades.
So let's say hypothetically, if I was sneaking up behind somebody and wanted to stab them, but I didn't, but I wanted to stab them in a specific spot that may or may not be a critical area, but definitely not the head. Is that just like a higher DC roll at that point?
Okay,
or-
so when it comes to aimed shots, I'm gonna make you roll. So your hit will be based on a D20 because that's the only way that works. Because on a D6 you either hit or you don't, right? But if you want to, so it'll be if you want to aim, you'll roll. So you'll start off by rolling your D6, and then whether or not you get your wound. So let's say your shot or your stab is a damage of 5 and their toughness is 5. So for your wound, because it'll always be on the wound roll for this, your wound will actually identify whether or not you hit that. So it'll be a percentage of that. So you'll have to get above, like you'll have to get like a 19 or I'm not saying a real number, but you'd have to get a 19 or something high to be able to hit that mark. Does that make sense?
Yeah, depending on like how small of a thing I'm aiming at.
Yeah, if you're trying to take someone's testicle off, yes, it's going to be hard for you to do that.
Unless you have them strapped down in a chair.
Unless you have them strapped down to a chair.
Or you use a whip with a chain.
Yes. All right, so, Bex, what have you decided?
I'm looking.
So while she goes on there, you said racks are essentially like suicidal, right? Or that's how they're used.
So they're
That's
like
how they're used.
that's how they're used.
Can I make like 10 copies of my character then? Just so that I don't have to keep re-rolling new characters.
And we can have let's have like on our base ship we have like a cloning bay. That's all of that comes out of that is just clones of this guy.
Well, I
So-
mean,
So how that works? So in the realm, so I've done a rather destructive assassin before. So when you inject, so what I mean by they get used up, so basically they're used as suffering tools, but eventually they get used up because their minds explode, right? However, there have been several of them that have ascended beyond that. Basically, they've never died. They're good at what they do. They never get killed because they're usually in like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like an arena. They're arena fighters. Does that make sense? Like, you know, the Colosseum in Rome. Does that make sense?
so I hear that, and you're essentially going to try to make a way around this so that I don't have to make many characters. But if it was going to be more lore accurate, I was essentially going to go kamikaze and just cycle the same type of character. Just
So there is a way to do that. If you want to do it that way, so what we do is you aren't actually the rack. You just use the rack. You are a homunculus. Homunculus don't actually fight. They create the crap. Then they send it out. So you would be technically on the ship. However, when in combat, you would use your rack or whatever you create to do this.
That's as close as a necromancer you're gonna get.
And
Yeah.
you're gonna send your creations to do your dirty work for you.
Right. So you would always stay on the ship or in a safe place as the homunculus, and you'd be a low level homunculus. So you basically a tinkerer. You create the projects, and eventually you can ascend to being a full fledged homunculus, and yada yada yada. But yeah, so you would create cool little creations and things like that, and over time, instead of where like they're going to get different weapons and stuff like that, you're going to be able to change your racks or whatever branch you go to. You're going to get abilities to add to your fighters. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because
So,
that I think is kind of where you're wanting to go with that. That's the best way lore wise.
it was a thought of how I was going to do it. It's more so whether or not that's going to create too much work on you or on the group. If I'm going to
No. So instead of me thinking up all the different weapons you get, I'm going to think up different ways for your characters to change as you create your little abominations. They would just change over time. You would add things to them, more toughness, greater speed, things like that.
So if I do this way, is it like possible like to have like when one of my racks die in combat, am I going to just have to sit out for the rest of that combat, or is it like am I able to bring in a new one?
So for that combat, you can't like make them on the spot. Like you can't just poof them into existence. So your rack would die.
spend your long rest making them, and however many you can make is how many you can take.
Yep.
And then that would be exciting for like sometimes you're gonna roll dog shit and you're only gonna be able to take one in and we're gonna struggle the whole combat. And then other times you're gonna take 20 in and we're just gonna have a nice little kill.
Okay, cool. So for as long as they're easily makeable, long rests, then that's fine. For as long as everyone understands that my guys are literally going.
Does he
to
make
die
them
all
You
the
can
out of
always use them as
Yeah,
actions
so
instead of
that
being
that was the one caveat I was gonna make. That I was gonna say is you can't make it out of nothing.
Yeah.
So you have
it
to
depends on-
either buy parts, or when you kill things, you're gonna have to harvest or harvest the pieces.
So will my rack harvest it, and then I have to like bring it
Yeah, your
back?
rack would harvest it and bring it back, or your friends would harvest it and bring it back for you. Yada yada yada.
So, fuck. That's.
Well, the
I was
Beastmaster
expecting
also
to
make
more.
drugs for us.
I'll
Like
be honest. I was expecting to die more often.
You dying more often would be the biggest fucking nuisance this game could have for us. So if you're worried about causing more work, you're going the opposite direction, sir.
Yeah. So no. So you're not gonna die too terribly often. Like your guy should survive combat. It's just when you're out of combat, your guy won't survive after that fact. Like when you get back to the ship, he's gonna slump over and die with his brain melted because you've injected him with so many drugs, and you'll have to make a new one. Does that make sense? So every combat, every like session, you're going to have to make a new one, but you're gonna have to bring parts back. That doesn't mean everything from the previous one is used up. It just means like if his head exploded, you got to find a new head to put back in its place. Does that make
You're
sense?
not going to be playing in combat as your character. You're going to be playing in combat as whatever your character can create.
Yep.
yeah, you get to be
Yeah.
a puppet master.
Yeah,
I get
that's
that.
exactly.
I get that. It's. Yeah. I'm just making sure that I'm not gonna like.
It doesn't seem like anyone's going to be a tank, so we can use your guys as distractions instead of.
Yeah, that's not how they're gonna play.
Yep.
I mean,
And
I
you
mean,
can over
they're
time.
not playing as a
with them,
distraction.
they are going to be distractions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they're
over
gonna be
time you can make them
distractions.
tankier and tankier and tankier by going down a path where you learn those skills to make them tankier. Basically,
Yeah. No,
slapping more meat on front of other meat.
What I'm trying to get at is they're not gonna be tanks.
All right, hold on one second. I got a bunch from Teamer here. Well, he biomass, which is goes body parts and bodies. Yep, exactly. So those are the things you can harvest. Witch cult drugs. I think he was talking to Becks on this one. Are of the witch cults, so they are usually used on Drakari themselves. Yes.
Yes, and the cult that I'm looking at takes drugs. So
Because we have to choose a few things, right? Like we're choosing our like faction we're playing as and like the group, and then we also have to pick like because we all kind of have to like worship the same like god and like
Well,
group, right?
no.
With
You can
Slanesh.
have you. Well, technically, the Harlequins don't. They don't
Run from.
Yeah,
they
they do the.
reenact. They're the weird reenactors of.
No, their
the
god is
webway.
different. Their god is. I saw it here a minute ago. It's the
It's the laughing god.
laughing god. Yes.
Right, but they still have to feed off of the pain and everything to appease Slanesh.
Yeah. That's just
So-
yes, correct.
Yeah, Isaac, I think I want to try this out, but if it ends up not working properly or whatever, I might want to pivot later.
That's fine. We can always do that if it doesn't work out. I think it's actually going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to open up a whole bunch of fun ways for you to manipulate the situation. So if you know you're going into like a long, hard fought battle or something like that, you can make something that's going to be sustaining. He won't do a lot of damage, but he'll just stand there and take it. Does that make sense?
You see, I'm probably not going to do it that much like that, but I just like the fact that I can essentially cause chaos and not worry about the person that's causing the chaos dying or not.
Yeah, but be aware that if you screw up and you have no parts to make stuff with, the next combat will be you going, oh, "Have fun, guys!" Like, like
That doesn't sound like a me problem. I'll be honest.
That's a them problem, not a me problem.
Exactly.
Yes,
I'll
the
be safe
Jakari
on this
tanks
ship.
are the grotesques. Yes, so if you wanted to go
That's when
full
we
on
start just
tank,
blowing up all the enemies, and there's no parts left over.
and witches through agility, you're absolutely right, Teamer.
The only issue with that is if I'm a Beastmaster, my little beast gets stronger by eating things.
Yes,
You get stronger by having things to create other things from.
Yes.
So you and I will be at direct odds from each other, just like last campaign where you try to obliterate the bridge we're walking on, and I believe otherwise. You jack fuck.
yes,
Except
Yeah.
this one will be every
all
single
things in
time.
in proper balance.
Yeah, except this one will be constant.
Yeah, but like the Drukari thrive on that kind of crap. Adversity, pissing each other off. They like it.
Yes,
Well,
Sounds like my
Tom
roots.
and I'll love each other. Then.
you're actually not wrong there, Teamer. So the homunculi would have a liquefier gun. That is a terrifying weapon. It's not very long ranged, but it does make a fucking mess.
That sounds fun. Can
Yeah.
I get it?
That would be the one for the homunculus. That's the homunculus weapon.
Damn.
So if
Lucky
it truly
you,
came down to it, your little homunculus buddy would be down there with his little pistol, shooting at things and causing them to melt into piles of green goo, like in Fallout 2.
Oh, that sounds fun.
But so Becks, you're our last one standing. What have we chosen?
Well, I was reading, and I think that going straight to succubus is pushing it a little bit because they're like the elite of the elite of the elite, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm thinking a blood bride is the way to go.
Oh, okay, I like it.
So, and I'm trying to figure out which cult. And I haven't quite decided yet.
Scissored hands and razor gauntlets hurt.
Yeah, if I go Hydra, that would be a really cool win. Or the Lacerai, where you have the.
Yeah, that was
really
Teamer who
ugly
said that, by
whips.
the way, just so you know.
Yeah. But the other one with the electrified shard nets, that is kind of cool. So I haven't decided subcult, but I do think Blood Bride is the way to go because I'm not like I don't want to start off as a top one. I want to have to kind of work my way up. Because like a top succubus would not leave the city, period, unless she'd been disgraced. And I still want to be somebody clawing their way to the top, maybe literally. I'm not sure.
So we're looking at the Hexarak Blood Bride. That
The
looks like
Hecatrix Blood Bride.
Yeah. I think that'll work. It'll be definitely a close combat. You'll be all zipping around and fun stuff.
Now I get plasma grenades, a splinter pistol, and a close combat.
Yep.
So I really want an agonizer though.
Quick question, Isaac.
Yeah.
As a Beastmaster, what will be my... Will I be a ranged character, a melee character? Can I force it one way or the other?
Wait, what? Sorry. I was reading something Teamer said. What's up?
So as a Beastmaster,
Yeah.
will I be a ranged character, like my guy, a melee character, or can I force it one way or the other?
You can make it either way you want. Like you can angle yourself in whichever direction.
Okay, because I would prefer to be a frontline with my my beast buddy because it's
So
not
the
fair for
Drakari
him
and
to go
stuff
off
are
onto the on his own.
typically more melee focused, anyways.
Yes, they are.
So
So
you're gonna have probably better melee things than like attunements.
Perfect.
yeah.
That's what I
So
would
when
prefer.
we actually make our characters, we're gonna do the
Drakari drugs and so on.
we're gonna do the normal go through. So unlike with let's say like normally you have like +3 to your or yada 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 your armor class and +3 to your strength and stuff like that. These are going to actually dictate these stats are going to dictate exactly the pluses that you get for over 10. So let's say you want to be stupid and you're -2 to anything psychically attuned, right? You would have -2 on your double 6 roll. Does that make sense? Everything. Right. So instead of it being like, so it actually corresponds really neatly, and that's why when I was thinking about it, it actually works. So let's say your Constitution is going to directly correlate into your number of wounds. So if your Constitution is 4, you'll have 4 wounds. Does that make sense? So +4 is 4 wounds. That's how many wounds you'll have as a character. So Constitution is where you're going to want to sit your base at for a melee character. Whereas, and then your toughness, which would be for Harlequins and for all you guys, it's all going to be based in Dex because you guys aren't actually tough in the way of like armor and heavy hitting. So it's going to be based on that stat. So Dexterity is quickness and things like that. Does that make sense? So your Dexterity is going to directly correlate into your armor class. Your 1 through 6 for your armor save. So it's always going to depend on which, like, so if you choose orcs, your Constitution will actually directly correlate into both it'll double up. It'll double into your wounds and into your toughness because it's strictly off of your body mass. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just so you guys know, that's when we make the characters, and we'll go all over that next week. We'll try to start as early as possible because I think it'll take a while. But and if anybody wants to do it during the week, we can do that. Like if anybody has some time, just message me, let me know. But I think I'll cut off the stream here, guys. We're gonna be Drakari. So we have a homunculus. We have, what was yours called again, Walker?
Death
Jester.
We
have a Death Jester.
He's the dude that stands on like the ruins with a giant gun.
Oh yeah, so big old long sniper.
Yeah.
And then we have our Beastmaster.
Yeah.
We have our Psyker.
The Shadow Seer.
Yeah, that's the Psyker. Yeah, our Shadow Seer. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's serious shenanigans ahead of us. I will say this ahead of time. It is probably not going to be the most PG rated streams we've ever had, seeing as how we're playing as Harlequin. But
have we ever had PG rated streams?
I mean, in comparison to what's about to come out of this, yes. You got to remember, the Drakari and the Eldar, they exist because now, the way they do, because they murder fucked a god into existence.
We murder fucked the god.
Wait.
And I'm the definition of a dominatrix. I'll have fun
No.
with that.
I am.
Is
Okay,
our
so we'll both have
religion,
fun with that.
Yes, we will.
does
I
our
can share.
religion really worship the god of tits and wine?
Yes. Yes, it does.
But like in a painful way.
Yeah. So it's not a pleasant worship. It's one that, slowly but surely eats away at your soul.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Think of a weird hate fuck version of
yes, also in a
Dionysus
fearful
and
way
Ares.
is what Teamer says. Yes, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. He says they don't want to die and go to Slaanesh, so they do Slaanesh stuff. Yes,
Pretty
basically.
much.
Oh, my Rex want to die.
Oh yeah, you gain your. So one cool thing about you versus the others, as far as like the torture aspect goes, every time one of your little creations dies, it's going to refuel that for you. It's going to be a direct correlation into that for you.
Wait. Can I make it so that every time one of my Rex die, my guy orgasms?
Oh God.
Oh God.
And we just crossed the line nobody
Yeah.
thought would happen.
No, we knew it would happen. It's just a matter of when.
We hoped wouldn't happen on the day we were brainstorming.
I want a Medusa as a pet. It's like a
I
little
wanna-
psychic recorder, and you can eat its brain fruit and relive stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
All right, guys.
no count,
But
but
last one
my-
from
my
T. Murray
pet
says, while Harlequins
is
serve their god and get protection from that in their duty to preserve the knowledge of the Eldar. Exactly. While Craftware Eldar just put their souls in crystals, in crystal fridges. Yep, you got it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you all next time, and we'll be doing at least a few people, I am sure.
We'll be doing a few people.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
Yep, yeah, we will.
Kidding.
We'll be doing a few of the character creations next week, and thank you guys so much, Teamer. As always, thank you for all the suggestions. It worked out. I think the brainstorming went well. I think the combat is going to be way more efficient, so that it'll be a lot of fun. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful night.
Good night.